Blessings. In the political satire, The Einstein Sisters Bag the Flying Monkeys, Jesus of Nazareth is so alarmed that the Christian Zionist yearning for nuclear war will become a self-fulfilling prophecy, that he returns to earth to recruit Christian disciples for peace. He transforms Jeremiah, the school nerd, into the teenage prophet of the new millennium. Here, in October 2000, before Bush and Cheney steal the election, Jeremiah shares with his Floridian classmates, Jonah and Joshua, a terrifying vision of 9/11. Jeremiah, did you say guys from Iraq and Afghanistan will blow up the World Trade Center? Joshua asked as his jaw dropped. No, Jeremiah corrected. Guys from Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Yemen. The facts won't make any difference to Bush and Cheney. After those attacks, America's Christians will fall under Karl Rove's satanic spell. The spell will be a faith-based instead of fact-based reality. Lies will be declared truth, aggression will be called defense, and war will be described as peace. Bush and Cheney will blame the attack on the Saudi Arabian Osama bin Laden. Televangelists will quickly dub bin Laden the new Antichrist. Jonah interrupted. You mean the 6'6" Arab with multiple wives, children, and bad kidneys, who you said they'd never find? No one ever finds any Antichrist, Jeremiah replied, recalling his vision. That would spoil the game for Bush and Cheney. They'll also blame the attack on Saddam Hussein. I knew that guy would have a hand in the attacks, Joshua declared. Wrong, Jeremiah snapped. He'll have no connection to the World Trade Center attacks at all. That's part of Rove's faith-based spell. I don't get it, said Jonah, shaking his head. Jeremiah asked them to imagine watching their TV screens as the Twin Towers collapsed into dust. He said everyone would be in shock except for Bush and Cheney and their henchmen. The horror would transform the American people into stunned and gullible spectators. Just like the stolen 2000 election in Florida, the media, led by Fox News, the Republican Party, big business, and supporters of Israel, would define the narrative and brainwash people to accept a phony account of what the events meant. The Republicans would shape the story and cherry-pick the facts to justify a military response to strengthen the grip of their power and to enrich the corporations they served. No one would ask the obvious questions until it was too late. When a few people started asking questions about 9/11, they would be dismissed as conspiracy theorists. Corporate lobbyists would already have compiled their wish lists, including a gigantic homeland security bureaucracy that would cause authentic, limited government conservatives like Ronald Reagan and Barry Goldwater to spin in their graves. Both political parties would be controlled by the Israel lobby and funded by corporations that would reap billions in corporate profits from the right war in the right place at the right time. The opportunist would be ready, but the citizens would be stunned into silence. Instead of debating democratically the proper response to essentially criminal attacks, Americans would find themselves uninformed consumers swallowing a prepackaged, illegal, aggressive foreign policy. So, will Bush and Cheney invade Afghanistan, Jonah asked. They will drive out that desolate Muslim country's leaders, but never find Osama bin Laden. Jeremiah predicted, but folks will be too distracted to notice that embarrassing reality. Bush and Cheney will let Afghanistan slip into anarchy under warlords who will outlaw Christianity, hang converts, and quadruple heroin production. So will they ever take out Saddam Hussein? Joshua asked. Big time, said Jeremiah. They'll take out the entire country. 1 million innocent civilians will die. Thousands of American GIs will fly home in coffins in the dead of night. Many times as many veterans will come home without arms or legs. An equal number will come home mentally unhinged. More will commit suicide than die on the battlefield. And almost all of the rest of the veterans will eventually come down with Gulf War illness from inhaling or ingesting radioactive dust from hundreds of tons of depleted uranium munitions blown all over the Middle East. Millions of Iraqi children will also eventually develop cancer from the radioactive poisoning. Bush and Cheney's victory will be as thorough as the Romans' defeat of Carthage, and all this terror will be committed in the name of a Christian crusade against Muslim terrorism. Won't the troops in Iraq rebel like in Vietnam? Jonah asked. Not during the faith-based Bush years, Jeremiah replied. Every soldier's death will obligate his family and community to support the Republicans' futile quest for victory, so that the loved one will not have died in vain. The nightmare will resemble a pyramid scheme, stacked with bodies instead of dollars. The lifeless hands of the innocent dead will drag the helpless living into a mass grave, just to pump a little bit more life into Bush and Cheney's phony, patriotic hysteria. That's just not believable, Jonah protested. Sorry, said Jeremiah. I don't make up the prophecies. I just deliver them. That's this week's story from the Church of the Poor Little Children Who Will Inherit the Earth. Coming April 20th, Jehovah W. Bush. Can't wait? Visit the website. Check out the book.